here we go on the hardwood. Very exciting stuff here. It is break 889. So how this works with the pick your team plus random is we will randomize the Hornets, Warriors, Timberwolves, and Kings. That will give them an order 1 through 4. We will then randomize all the users who bought spots, and they will be matched up with the teams based on the order they end in. So let's see how many times we're going to randomize these teams. It's going to be 5 times. Two, 3, 4, and 5. All right, that means whichever user ends up in first place is going to get the Timberwolves, second going to get the Kings, third the Hornets, and fourth the Warriors. So let's see how many times we're going to randomize the users, the members of the BreakTraders community. That's going to be 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Alrighty. And the Minnesota Timberwolves going to Phil. The Sacramento Kings headed to Mr. CEO. The Charlotte Hornets going to Steven. And the Golden State Warriors are heading to Robert. Alrighty. And with that, we will get those teams loaded and dive in to this break. I haven't done Prizm basketball in a long time. It's been a while. I'm trying to think, but what do you remember the last time we did Prizm basketball, John?
I do not.
Neither do I. It's been
a while.
Nothing wrong with that, though. We just got to go find some gold and black parallels in here. Some out of 10s and out of 1s. We have Kyle Kuzma of the Lakers, Tobias Harris of the 76ers, and Onika Okongwu RC of the Atlanta Hawks headed to Jen. Ja Morant of the Grizzlies, Marvin Bagley III of the Kings. Looks like we're going to have a red out of 299 coming. Tony Snell of the Pistons. And then we got DJ Augustin. That's actually going to be a red wave. A red wave right there. Or red ice, maybe? DJ Augustin of the Magic. Following that up with Thomas Bryant of the Washington Wizards with the silver disco right there. Or the hyper right there. Then we have the downtown Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks headed to Jen. Followed by Aaron Baines of the Phoenix Suns, Torrey Craig of the Nuggets, and Bismack Biyombo of the Hornets. Right out the gate, we have a Sadiq Bey RC of the Detroit Pistons headed to Jonathan. RJ Barrett of the Knicks, Maxi Kleber of the Mavs, Jared Allen of the Nets, Malik Beasley of the Timberwolves, a silver Lauri Markkanen of the Chicago Bulls going to Robert. Following that up with a fireworks silver, Bradley Beal of the Washington Wizards headed to Steven, and a regular fireworks of the Wizards, Bradley Beal going to Steven as well. Domantas Sabonis, Daniel House Jr., Ish Smith of the Wizards, and Harrison Barnes of the Kings. And we have the throwback Rodney Hood of the Portland Trailblazers to Steven, followed by a Saban Lee RC of the Detroit Pistons going to Jonathan. Then we have Marquise Chris of the Warriors, Matisse Thybulle of the 76ers, Hassan Whiteside of the Trailblazers, Lauri Markkanen of the Bulls, a silver Nico Mannion RC of the Golden State Warriors headed to Robert, followed by a silver hyper Vernon Carey Jr. of the Hornets headed to Steven. Then we got that downtown LeBron James of the Lakers going to Steven as well. Followed up by Clint Capella of the Hawks, Chris Middleton of the Bucks, and Dante DiVincenzo of the Bucks as well. Magic Johnson of the Lakers, Kevin Love of the Cavaliers. Then we have Xavier Tillman of the Memphis Grizzlies. Xavier Tillman of the Grizzlies headed to Jack. Damian Lillard of the Trailblazers. DeAndre Jordan of the Nets. Followed by Kevin Garnett of the Timberwolves. A red ice Darius Garland of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I guess that looks like a red wave, but oh well. Of the Cavaliers. Followed by a purple Rudy Gobert. The purple Rudy Gobert out of 99, and that is going to be of the Utah Jazz going to Trent. Following that up, we have the downtown Zion Williamson of the New Orleans Pelicans headed to Jax. Followed up by Robert Covington of the Rockets, Patty Mills of the Spurs, and Anfernee Simmons of the Trailblazers. A Peyton Pritchard RC right out the gate of the Boston Celtics headed to Robert. Fred Van Vliet of the Toronto Raptors. Brandon Ingram of the Pelicans. Kyle Lowry of the Raptors. DJ Augustine of the Magic. A silver Drew Holiday followed by the Pelicans. Followed by a hyper Duncan Robinson of the Heat going to Cynthia. Then we have a fireworks Pascal Siakam of the Toronto Raptors going to Brendan, followed by Kevin Durant of the Nets, DeAndre Hunter of the Hawks, D'Angelo Russell of the Timberwolves, and Rudy Gobert of the Jazz. We have Kira Lewis Jr. of the New Orleans Pelicans headed to Jax, followed by Markelle Fultz of the Orlando Magic going to Robert, an RJ Hampton RC of the Denver Nuggets going to Cynthia. Then we have Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum of the Celtics, Lonnie Walker the fourth of the Spurs, Marquise Morris Sr. of the Clippers, Norman Powell of the Raptors, a blue ice right there. And that is Jackson Hayes of the New Orleans Pelicans. Jackson Hayes of the New Orleans Pelicans heading to Jackson. That is going to be out of 125. Followed up by DeAndre Bembry of the Hawks, Kevin Looney of the Golden State Warriors, Yusuf Nurkic of the Trailblazers. And here we go. We have an auto. It is a rookie signatures. Kenyon Martin Jr. of the Houston Rockets going to Mr. CEO. Right out the gate, Jaden McDaniels of the Minnesota Timberwolves, followed by Jalen Smith of the Phoenix Suns. And then boom goes the dynamite. That is Mr. Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves. A little Anthony Edwards base of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Just going to go check and see what that last sold for. Since it appears our resident eBayer, Brett has nodded off to sleep, but I know he is a teacher, as he said earlier on the stream, so I'm assuming he has to get up mighty early. Jordan Clarkson of the Utah Jazz, followed up by Steph Curry of the Warriors, Vince Carter of the Raptors, Derek White of the Spurs, a red Anthony Davis. Red Anthony Davis of the Lakers going to Steven out of 299 right there. Bogdan Bogdanovic of the Kings, Eric Gordon of the Rockets, and Nikola Vukovic of the Orlando Magic. And we're going to have another auto, and it is going to be a Skylar Mars silver rookie signatures of the Atlanta Hawks going to Jen. Evan Fournier of the Magic, a Jordan Nwora RC of the Milwaukee Bucks going to Phil, followed by Bradley Beal of the Wizards, Shake Milton of the 76ers, Jonas Valanciunas of the Grizzlies, Jay Crowder of the Heat, followed by Kevin Looney. Kevin Looney art right there, that red wave of the Golden State Warriors, followed by a silver Terrence Ross of the Orlando Magic. Then we have a little fireworks, James Harden of the Houston Rockets, followed up by Donovan Mitchell of the Jazz, Alfred Payton of the Knicks, and TJ Warren of the Pacers. Thank you, Cynthia. I very much appreciate that. Malachi Flynn, RC of the Toronto Raptors, going to Brendan, followed by Jake Layman of the Timberwolves, LaMarcus Aldridge of the Spurs, Karis Levert of the Nets, and Fernie Hardaway of the Magic. A silver Hassan Whiteside of the Portland Trailblazers going to Steven, followed by a silver downtown Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks headed to Jen. Then we have Dwayne Wade Fearless of the Miami Heat going to Cynthia. Dwayne Bacon of the Hornets, Jeremy Lamb of the Pacers, Julius Randle of the Knicks, and Spencer Dinwiddie of the Brooklyn Nets. Josh Green of the Dallas Mavericks right off the gate going to James, followed by Derrick Rose of the Pistons, Shabazz Napier of the Wizards, Shai Gilgeous of the Thunder, Dwight Howard of the Lakers, Andrew Wiggins of the Warriors, a silver CJ McCollum of the Portland Trailblazers. And then we're going to have that purple ice out of 175 and Fernie Hardaway of the Orlando Magic headed to Robert, 101 out of 175 right there. And then a fearless Zion Williamson of the Pelicans going to Jax. A LeBron James, the Kobe dunk right there. LeBron James, Kobe dunk base. Nice hit right there for the Lakers going to Steven. Alex Caruso of the Lakers and Cody Zeller of the Hornets. We got Patrick Williams, RC of the Chicago Bulls, going to Robert, followed by Serge Ibaka of the Raptors, Mikal Bridges of the Suns, Jaylen Brown of the Celtics, Jordan Poole of the Warriors, PJ Washington Jr. of the Hornets. Then we have Jason Tatum with that red of the Celtics going to Robert, followed by a blue Norman Powell out of 199 of the Raptors. Then we're going to have that Trae Young throwback of the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young throwback of the Atlanta Hawks right there. Nice hit. And that is going to Jen. Following that up with DeAnthony Melton of the Grizzlies, Dwight Powell of the Mavs, and Ersan Ilyasova of the Bucks. Tyrese Halliburton of the Sacramento Kings going to Mr. CEO, followed by Jabari Parker of the Kings, Kevin Knox of the Knicks, Daniel Tice of the Celtics, Miles Bridges of the Hornets, a silver Kristaps Porzingis of the Dallas Mavericks going to James, followed by Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat, silver, going to Cynthia. Then we got a little downtown Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors to Robert, followed by Marcus Smart of the Celtics, Derek Jones Jr. of the Heat, De'Aaron Fox of the Kings, and Dylan Brooks of the Grizzlies. Alrighty. Let's run down these rookies. Tyrese Halliburton of the Sacramento Kings, followed by Patrick Williams of the Bulls, Josh Green of the Dallas Mavericks, Malachi Flynn of the Raptors, Jordan Nwora of the Bucks, RJ Hampton of the Denver Nuggets, Kira Lewis Jr. of the Pelicans, Jalen Smith of the Suns, Jaden McDaniels of the Timberwolves, Peyton Pritchard of the Celtics, Xavier Tillman of the Grizzlies, The hyper Vernon Carey Jr. of the Hornets, followed by the silver Nico Mannion of the Warriors, Sabin Lee of the Pistons, Sadiq Bey of the Pistons, and Onika Okongwu of the Atlanta Hawks. And now on to our featured cards. First, our featured bases, we have the LeBron James Kobe Tribute Dunk and the Anthony Edwards base right there. LeBron of the Lakers, Anthony Edwards of the Timberwolves. And then we have 2 autos to wrap up this break. We have the rookie signatures, Kenyon Martin Jr. of the Houston Rockets heading to Mr. CEO, and the silver Skylar Mays of the Atlanta Hawks headed to Jen.